That's bigger. I don't want to say anything else. Next day you will have the cat directly here.
My cats appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. We have head coach Jonathan Giraldez. Jason, go ahead and kick us off.
Jonah, congrats on the win. Thanks for speaking with us. Wanted to start by asking, it seemed like in the game, not just with Ule's injury, but there was maybe having to adjust to Portland changing some things in the way they approach the game. How do you think the team did before you got to make that change and then afterwards?
Yeah, good question. Good afternoon, everyone. I think we were doing a good job, especially out of possession. I think today, for me, is the best game that we play so far in terms of out of possession in the first half. It's true that after the, after 1-1, second half was too many runnings. I think it was crazy, that part of the game. But especially before the injury, we were playing very, very good. And I think after we train inside and Hachi doing other different role as a striker, we were, I think the first half was really, really good. The only problem we had in the beginning of the second half, it was the chance that they create after the goal. We need a little more time to adjust a little better to do exactly what we have to do in possession and out of possession. But in general, I think we did a good job, especially out of possession today. And I think we create chances enough, especially in the first half, to score more goals. We couldn't, but in the end, you score in the last minute. That's part of football. You have to fight until the end, and today we got an important win.
The players are mentioning that you've been telling them that they have to sort of smell the goal, especially in moments like that. Yeah. What do you see in the group where they're able to do this on such a regular basis? Even before you were able to arrive full time, this was a thing that was happening. How are they managing to, like you say, smell the goal and actually make wins out of draws, etc.?
Yeah, I like that word, smell the goal. When you are playing, especially into the box, you need to smell. You have to be there. You have to anticipate the defender. You have to be aware for the second ball, for the rebound, get the second post. You have to be alive, And I think today we had chances, a lot of chances, as against San Diego we had to. I think today, in terms of consistency, smelling the goal, smelling the situation in the last meter, we did a good job because we scored 2 goals. And for me, it's what I said the last week. For me, the most important thing is create that chances and deserve the victory. It's not about the score goals, it's about create the chances and being there. And today, all the players believe until the end that we could score the second goal and win the game. And I'm happy if they are saying that about the smell. I like, because I used that word in trainings to make sure that everyone is on the place.
Luis?
Coach, felicidades primero por la victoria. Quiero que me hables un poco sobre ese ajuste que tuviste que hacer en defensa. Creo que lo habías comentado el compañero cuando llegó el gol después del segundo tiempo. Y también quiero que me hables un poco de ese ajuste que hiciste cuando Sar se lesionó. Y también, como último, felicidades por el award sobre el coach del año en el Balón de Oro.
Gracias por esto último. Hoy la idea era tener algo mejor referenciadas a sus medios centros. Fleming, Sugita, Coffey son jugadoras de muchísimo nivel, y creo que el trabajo dentro con Courtney, Andy y Lacey saltando ahí a primera línea y tapando un poco el juego interior, creo que hemos estado bastante bien. Ha habido poco espacio entre líneas, en base y en cuadrado, para que ellas pudiesen tener ocasiones para poder progresar con pase, porque es un equipo que lo hace muy bien en ese sentido, y cada vez que intentaban filtrar dentro, creo que hoy en general hemos recuperado bastantes balones, hemos evitado que nos pudiesen progresar mediante pase, y las ocasiones que nos han generado han sido de ataque rápido, no han sido de ataque organizado. Entonces creo que en ese sentido hemos estado bien, porque hemos orientado y decantado siempre hacia el mismo lado. Hoy más que nunca hemos hablado el mismo idioma a nivel defensivo, y después por la lesión de Ule, pues intentar que ese rol nos lo hiciese Hachi. Sabíamos que Trin al final no estuvo al 100% durante la semana y había jugadoras que estaban para seguir de inicio más preparadas y que entendían exactamente qué debíamos hacer, y Hachi era una de ellas, la que nos podía hacer ese rol en izquierda o de 9, porque era muy importante, sobre todo en esos primeros metros, afinarnos bien, ajustarnos bien a nivel defensivo para poder hacer un buen partido, como así creo que hemos hecho.
Trinity entró de cambio en el minuto 20 por ahí y me dices que no estaba al 100%. ¿Alguna lesión, alguna molestia en especial?
Bueno, no estaba al 100% durante la semana, alguna pequeña molestia, nada serio, y no tenía mucho sentido empezar con ella, habiendo otras jugadoras que sí estaban al 100%. Ayer es cierto que hizo el entreno con absoluta normalidad, pero creía que por lo que se iba a dar en el partido y seguramente por lo que la podíamos necesitar en la segunda parte, desafortunadamente ha tenido que entrar antes porque al final la lesión de Ule pues ha provocado eso, pero bueno, en líneas generales estoy contento porque incluso jugadoras que han entrado de nuevas hoy, tanto Hachi, Gaby, Hal, creo que han hecho Courtney, creo que han hecho muy buen partido, y eso creo que en general nos refuerza como equipo.
Me he dado de cuenta que en la ofensiva, cuando están pasando el balón, Lacey sube a delantera central. O sea, ¿es algo que están practicando o es algo que se ha dado con el partido?
No, tiene que tener llegada a área. Es nuestra segunda punta. En ataque le pedimos que esté sobre todo encuadrado, pero cada vez que haya situación de centro tiene que llegar a área. Estas acciones de segunda línea. Creo que los 3 partidos que lleva está jugando muy bien en ese sentido. Está teniendo mucha llegada, está teniendo ocasiones en todos los partidos. Creo que eso es importante. El otro día contra San Diego tuvo 2 muy claras también para poder anotar. Y bueno, estoy contento por ella porque ha podido marcar el gol de la victoria en algo que le pedimos, que es que pise área y, como decía antes, que huela, ¿no? Que huela esas ocasiones.
Gracias.
Jose?
Jonah, felicidades.
Gracias.
And you mentioned it in Spanish that Trin didn't come in at 100%. So can you kind of clarify a little bit of like what did you see in training that you didn't come in 100% today? And once she came in as a sub, what were your thoughts on her performance? It looked like Portland was trying to single her out a couple of times, but we saw what happened. She gets the goal, she gets the assist. So overall, what was the game plan with her today, knowing she wasn't at 100%?
Yeah, we were doing a good work during the week in terms of practice, the game plan, and she was not ready 100% to train every day, and other players were available 100% to train. And even thinking during the game, you will need in the second half maybe other type of players. And after Croy's injury, for me it was important today, all the players in the starting 100% available during the week. In terms of preparation, the game plan, everyone available and ready to compete. And then we have the bad news with Ule, in the minute 20. But the feeling right now, so far in that moment, only moving Hatch in that position, and the specific role for our left wing being a little high, between center right back and right back. I think Trin was ready to play in that position, understanding that yesterday she did the whole training session, but during the week in terms of preparation, the game plan, for me, I think was a good decision. Decide starting with 11 players that we decide, and even I want to say that the other ones who were coming in the second half, everyone I think today helped us a lot to maintain the level in terms of game plan. So I think it's a good news, especially because Courtney, Hal, Hachi, they had the opportunity to start the game today. And for me, as identity in terms of what we want to build, as many as possible players that we have available to play from the beginning is very, very important. So we have to compete the last game that we have, including the whole team, because you cannot win games only using 11, 12, 13 players. You have to include much more. And today, Courtney, Hachi and Gaby, they had the chance to play from the beginning. They did a good job, and the players who went in the second half, I think they did a good job too.
And we'll go Mario, then Jonathan.
Hola, Jonah, felicidades en la victoria. 2 preguntas. La primera, ya con la baja de Croy para el resto de la temporada, ¿cómo has hecho los ajustes necesarios, ya pensando en los partidos que siguen? Y segundo, de tu punto de vista, ¿qué vistes en el gol de gane de Lacey Santos?
Bueno, a nivel de ajustes está claro que pierdes jugadoras entre líneas, jugadoras que juegan en cuadrado, jugadoras con mucha calidad. Croy es de las mejores en la liga haciendo eso, ¿no? Jugando de enganche a la espalda de sus medios centros, y está claro que perdemos mucho. Estamos probando otras cosas, a veces es McKenna la que nos hace de cuarta centrocampista, a veces hoy Courtney, por ejemplo, tenía un rol más de cuadrado. En la segunda parte ha tenido que jugar algo más en base porque por cómo defendían ellas hemos tenido que ajustarnos un poco mejor ahí para tener salida de balón algo más limpia con Courtney o con Gaby. Y estamos probando también a Rush en las dos bandas, a veces jugando con este rol de profundidad, a veces jugando abierta. A mí lo que me gusta como entrenador es tener diferentes recursos, dar a las jugadoras herramientas para que en función del partido, en función de las necesidades, nos podamos adaptar rápido, y por ahí pues estamos intentando en entrenamiento y en competición dar recursos a las jugadoras para ser un equipo lo menos previsible posible y por supuesto que podamos ser igual de competitivas. Y en el gol que sentí, pues la alegría que sintió todo el mundo. Obviamente cuando marcas en el último minuto es algo que tienes que celebrar sí o sí porque son 3 puntos.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, Jonah. One of the various dignitaries, celebrities who was here today was Michelle Akers, the legend of the U.S. women's team, who I know was on the field for a few minutes before the game. I was wondering if over the course of her time here, did you get to chat with her at all and introduce yourself, say hello? And what does it mean to you? I mean, in Spain, women's football is growing very fast, but it's still fairly new. What does it mean to you to be in the company of someone who represents so much history in the sport like that?
For sure, it's a good news because I think she's coming from Florida. So Michelle being here during the game, it was very special. I could speak with her in the end of the game. It's one of the best players in the world in history of women's football. So it's a good news because everything changed a lot in the last years. I think I was explaining one time here when I arrived to Barca in 2019, I was playing just with 200 or 300 persons in our stadium, and right now we are, putting into the stadium a lot of persons, a lot of supporters, and I think in terms of growing women's football is being crazy. So if you compare years ago, right now it's amazing. It's what I said to the players before the game. I like to have a good connection with the supporters. So everything for me, when you can speak with this kind of history players and you can compare, we are lucky to be here, to be part of that, to be part of the change that we are provoking in terms of soccer, women's soccer. So we have to enjoy what we do every day because we are privileged, has the option to work on, with so many persons into the stadium is exceptional. I enjoy a lot, for sure when you win, but the connection that you can create with your fans, that is unbelievable. You can win, but if fans are not here, I don't mind that. You need to be part of that and give reasons to the supporters to be back every second week, because if we make them enjoy, it will be easier compete the game. So happy have here Michelle, and for sure try to can speak for a while about history, about change. It's crazy. Everything is changing a lot, and I hope in the future keep changing and keep improving, because it's a good step now.
Go Roy and then Andre.
Hi, Jonah. I've heard you talk a lot here mentioning Ashley Hatch, and just thinking that it's her first time in the starting 11 for a while, and she had a lot of chances today. I'm wondering what you saw from her, as far as her play today, for where she fits into this team going forward.
Yeah, first of all, she's training very, very well. Last week she had no chances to play because the game was different against San Diego, but today. The role that we wanted with her, starting in the left and then playing as a 9, it was very specific for her, especially playing between lines and giving high sometimes when she was playing at the beginning of the game in the gap between center right back and right back. She's training very well. She has the chance to help us. And the second thing, because I believe a lot, when you can use 14, 15, 16, 17 players, I need everyone available to compete every game. So if you are not giving them chances, it's not possible that the players coming from the bench can help into you or can help to the team. So today, Hachi, Courtney, and Gabi, they had the chance to play from the beginning because they deserve it. They are training very well. Hal, Casey, and Trin, they are training very, very well too, but in the end I had to decide. And what I think is The best for the team is use a lot of players because we are gonna need them. So if you every game you are playing with the same starting 11, maybe other players are not so available to play and to compete. So when you are giving them chances to play from the beginning or coming in the second half, for example, Lina today had the chance to play the last minutes. In the end we need to include a lot of players because we are going to need them.
Andre, and then we'll wrap up with Jason.
There you are. Thank you. Congrats on the win, Jonah. Thanks for speaking with us. I had a question about Andy Sullivan. She's been a national team player. Obviously, didn't go to the Olympics, but playing now counterpart with Sam Coffey today. But how do you assess Andy Sullivan's game and how important she is to what you want to do on the pitch?
It's unbelievable. Is an exceptional player, and in the way that she leads every day, she's an example. She leads by example. This kind of players, I need her, because every day in training and in the game, when she's playing, the team feels that she's there. It's unbelievable in terms of the leadership that she has, the understanding in terms of game plan, in possession, out of possession, and then because when she trains, she's always, in her 100%, always, every training session. So I love this kind of players because, you have to train as a professional, and for me, she's an unbelievable player. Just not about footballer, is at the same time as sportive. In the way that she trains every day is crazy. And I think she has the opportunity to go with the national team for sure. The national team has amazing players to play, but for me, Andy Sullivan is one of the best players in this country.
Appreciate it. And just had a final question for you from me is, we talked before the game about Sophia Smith, and you said we have good players too, and we would match up with her well, and it seems like you did. So it was kind of the game plan on her, and how pleased were you that she didn't really cause too many problems today?
She created chances because I think we did a good job, but she's one of the best strikers in the world. It's the first time I have the chance to play, face to face and seen to her, to 10 meters. So I knew her from my past as a coach, and today I figured out that she's one of the best strikers in the world. She can play in 3 different positions. She creates chances. I think we defended well, but in the end she created chances. She's capable to do, when she receives facing down goal, she's capable to turn herself and go forward. She's capable to make assists, to shoot. She finds the easy for finishing the game, finishing the play very, very easy. So I think we struggle a lot in this kind of situation against her because even making a good job, she did a really, really good job. So I appreciate the level she has because, when you are pushing to us a lot, we need to demand ourselves much more. So this kind of game for me is very important for Paige, for Anne, for the whole team together in the way that we have to manage that player. Today is a good example about what we have to do and what we can improve for the future.
Wrap up with Jason.
Jonah, when we spoke to the players, they mentioned that one of the adjustments you made in this game was having Andy drop as a lone 6 and having normally your 8 is now pushing up alongside Lacey. What were you looking for out of that? Was it to just mirror Portland, or was it to gain some different advantage out of possession, in possession? What were you looking for?
Yeah, out of possession especially because they have Coffey, Sugita, and Fleming. They are exceptional players playing inside, and we wanted to make sure that 3 players were not going to be comfortable in terms of position. I didn't want to give them time to play inside, so today forced them to play one side, and Lacey Santos just being there, covering the passing side, and Courtney and Andy being very close from the opening holding and midfield advance inside. And I think we did a good job on that, out of possession. Maybe we were not being so aggressive as other games, but today we need that. So in the end, what we need is give tools out of possession to the players, because I think we can improve on that. Especially if you are seeing the last games, we were not doing a good job in terms of the way that we have in terms of shape. And today I am very happy because for me we did a good job. And in possession, yeah, we wanted to give other ways or tools to the players. Today playing with Lacey and Courtney in pocket, only with Andy Sullivan as a holding midfielder, but they were with the right wing defending our center left back, so Gabi was free and Sugita very close to defender. By the way, we decided Courtney be a little more close from Andy to create that 2v1 inside and have more chances to go forward, break the opposing press. So I think in general, all the adjustments that we have to do during the game, in general, my feelings are good. And in the end, when you get the victory, for sure, is because you did a good job today.
My final question is just Ule coming out with the injury. Have you had a chance to hear the nature of the injury, the significance?
Yeah, I just heard that she felt something back. She was fine during the week. So I know sometimes after the game she I don't know how can I say that in English, but sometimes she feels something in her back. So I think it's not going to be something big, but I don't know. I have to wait for the result to make sure that it's just only for today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll
Bye-bye.
be right back with Andy Sullivan. All right, we have Trinity Rodman and Andy Sullivan. Jason, kick us off.
Congrats on the win. Thanks for speaking with us, for both of you. I guess, Trinity, I wanted to ask, I'm going to start with not just the celebration, but the build up to the goal. How did you sort of create the isolation that allows you to then create a goal and then also the celebration?
Oh my god. Hatch played me? Oh my gosh, sorry. I like blacked that whole thing out. But no, I think we were doing a really good job of like finding the seams and looking forward first, and I think that was it. It was like as soon as we won the ball, especially when they had their numbers up, our first option was find the pocket, find a forward pass, and that's what we did. And I think Hatch played lights out today. Obviously, we didn't finish as many chances as we could. She set me up a couple times, missed those, so I'm glad that I could put it away. But yeah, I think, again, really good. And as for my finish, I just honestly was focused on like not getting it blocked. I was just trying to find an opening. And then it was like a last minute decision to go near post. I was gonna go far post, but then they were blocking it, so yeah.
Sally.
Oh, Selly, whoa. That also wasn't planned. I honestly kind of regret it because that was a really long run, and my leg, I thought it was a lot closer. I was looking at the boost and I was like, okay. But yeah, I was giving him crap after because I obviously was asking for the lob for an alley-oop, but he didn't get it. But I still thought it was cool. That's it.
Andy, I wanted to ask, we spoke with Hatchie and Aubrey and Jonah as well about the shift you had to make in game. It seemed like Portland kept Sugita much closer to Coffee than normal, and it seemed like when Ule was down, that was kind of part of the adjustment. They mentioned that you were, as a result of that, kind of having to play alone as a six a little more than we're used to seeing this season. How did you see that working out? How did that come to allow you to win the game as a team?
That's a very deep, good question. Yeah, I think it's just speaking to like the evolution of the team is that we're comfortable playing with one in base, we're comfortable playing with two in base. We can bring three if we want to. We can rotate those players in and out, and we're being asked to do this like in game. And I think that just speaks to the growth that we've had through the season, through training. That we're able to make those adjustments and that we all make them, and it's once one person makes one adjustment, we know how that affects the rest of the group. And I think Paige spoke about this. It's like thinking about it more as spaces and just being in different pockets. So I think that helped us a lot, and it also gave like whoever was the 8 kind of the freedom to, if they want to be in the pocket or if they want to come down, and just adjusting off that. And I think the more flexible we are, obviously the harder it is to scout us, and then obviously we can make adjustments in game that makes it hard to defend or predict. So yeah, I think that will serve us well in the future.
Over to Emily.
Well, this one's for Trinity, but I couldn't wait.
Sorry, no.
No, it's okay. Obviously, game plan going in, you're on the bench and you go in a lot sooner than probably what was anticipated. What is that adjustment like for you, and how are you feeling physically after going probably a lot longer than originally mentally prepared for?
She feels great.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we won. I did my job. Yeah, obviously going off of what Andy said, I think we're so good at adapting to situations even if we're not prepared for them. But yeah, Ule was dealing with something earlier and she tried to push and she was smart to pull herself out. Yeah, and for me, I think going in earlier than I thought, it was more so of let's get my feet under me and like try to do the simple things right. And then going into the second half, it was more like, okay, be Trin again and like get into the game. But again, it's like we're always ready, and obviously that wasn't ideal and my legs are probably angry again, but I'm happy, and yeah, team did great, and I'm glad Ule could get that rest that she needed.
Back to Jose.
Congrats on the result. Just for both of you to start, this team has had a propensity to, in the final 15, 20 minutes, to come up with last-second goals, last-minute goals to get the result, wins over draws. What's the mentality been building like, whether it's within the roster or along with the coaches, to get that extra push that you guys are now getting wins over draws or losses against the other teams?
I think what he's made huge for us is we're not training for the game, we're training for training, and it's training every single day with a purpose. And I honestly can say that I feel like our team gets better as the game goes on, even when we're tired. And I think we do have that edge over teams, and that showed today is like, that Spirit's going to score late because our quality gets better and our chances, there's so many chances towards the end. It's just like, when's the moment? So I think for us, it's just been training every day at the best of our ability. It's not like just train for the game and like not train as hard and like just get your body ready. It's like, no, we're going to push each other every single training. And even in training, it's like, it's a competition day every day. And we all get really salty when we lose. And I think that's a really good thing to kind of embed in us for the games, because then this happens. So, sorry, I'm rambling.
No, that's perfect.
And I guess for the second question, Trin, can you describe the second goal and the cross, and and how's the partnership mainly with Lacey, and how's that coming along with you guys?
Yeah, I was shortest one on the field, gets the header. But yeah, I think, again, Paige is so good at just taking space, and it's like, is she going to take it herself? Is she going to lay it off inside, or is she going to play me down the line? So for me, I'm honestly like trying to just get out of her way, and if she wants to play me, she can. But yeah, I saw the 1v1 as always, and I kind of paused her for a little bit, and I don't know, towards the end of the game, we were just trying to get numbers in the box. So for me, I had a couple crosses that weren't great, and I wasn't picking out a player. So I could see them floating in the back post. It was McKenna and Lacey, and thankfully McKenna missed it because probably would have flicked backwards. But yeah, I was just trying to like set it up and loft it so somebody could get like their power through it, and that's what happened. So very happy.
Over to Luis.
Hi, Trinity. A question for both of you. What is the message after the first half? Both teams got couple occasion for the goal, but don't know how many goal. Mm-hmm. What is the question? What is the message you have for the second half for try to win the game?
Yeah, I think there were the tactical adjustments that we talked about, but I think what we also have already talked about is like the belief that it's coming, and that we felt like we were defending well. Like we were maybe defending a little bit more than we would have liked, but it wasn't suffering, as they like to say. So we felt like confident in our shape and felt like we were picking things off. So just the belief that if we sharpened things up a little bit, that the goal was going to come, So, yeah, I think just the belief that we're going to get it done.
Yeah, you hit it. Yeah.
Nikki?
Yep. For Trinity, especially just because with the amount of changes just these last couple weeks, with Jonah coming in and kind of having a full squad at his disposal with some new signings, and obviously you guys coming back from the Olympics, and also unfortunately Croy going down, I'm just kind of curious, like what have these last couple weeks been like, especially with the attack, to kind of start to gel, and what does it say about you guys that over these last few weeks you've gotten 7 points from 9 games while still kind of learning each other's games?
I think the interchange through the week of playing with different players, it's not just like, oh, this is our set starting lineup for the weekend and that's who you're going to play with. We're constantly switching who's playing together, so I think that helps a lot. But also, like, our depth on the bench I think is great, and we showed that today. There was a couple of changes in the lineup, and I think they did amazing. They did their job. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is like practicing with different players, and we're now learning traits of each other, of like, oh, what does she want, more so than like putting yourself first. It's like, okay, what does she want to do when she has the ball, not like what do I want from her at the same. I don't know, it's like a balance, but I think that's been really good the past couple weeks.
Roy and then Jonathan.
Hi, well, I have a question for both of you, but first, Trinity, I'm curious about the story of your shirt and how it got to you. I noticed.
And how what?
How it got to you, like how that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I get a lot of my dad's merch, obviously. I don't know. I think this shirt's really cool. It's just kind of symbolizes how crazy he used to be and how like out there. And I think it's just like a bunch of memorable moments, style-wise. which is obviously really cool. And I like to say I got my style from him. So yeah, it's now part of the fit. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. And then for both of you, I know Jonah mentioned a little bit about the game plan in terms of defending Sophia Smith. I'm just wondering, especially with this being the first post-triple espresso game for Trinity versus Soph, I'm curious what the approach was in terms of defending somebody who is such a potent striker like that.
I would say that when we're preparing for games, a lot of teams have players like a lights out forward like Soph. Obviously she's also her own class, but I think we've taken confidence from the other tests that we've had against other top forwards, like Banda, like Chewinga, like Casarino last week. And so just taking, it's almost like we're just layering things in. And obviously you have to put a lot of attention to her because she's so dangerous, but also knowing that we have the tools to handle that, and that we can do that. And we don't have to change our identity or our style to handle that. We can just layer in those tweaks. And I think our backline rises to that challenge extremely well. So, and even to her credit, like we put a lot of focus on her and she was still able to produce a lot on her own. So that just speaks to how good of a player she is. But I'm proud of how the backline handled that.
And Jonathan will wrap up with Peyton.
Jonathan Tannenwald of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Question for either of you. Also among the dignitaries today was Michelle Akers, as you all saw, and she comes to many games. There was the brunch, obviously. I think it was in New York during the World Cup send-off. So a lot of these former players are still around, attached, and so on. But the time keeps passing and so on. So to know that she's here and still as invested as she's always been and all that, and a lot of the former players still are, what's that mean to you guys?
I mean, for me, it's just growing up watching all these players, and now to be in a position to now thrive while they watch is so cool to me. And for me, it's just kind of like watching the way they handle themselves after the fact is really cool to see. But I don't know, it means the world, and to have such a high-class player still involved is really cool because, I don't know, I just feel like when you've dedicated your entire life to soccer, it could be easy to be like, I'm done, like, I want to go. But just to see the support from them and to see that, like, okay, we've passed the torch and we're still supporting you. It's not like we still want, like, to be at the top. It's like we want you guys to be better than us, which I think is amazing, and you can feel that. So, yeah, it's amazing having that support.
Yeah, I think we recognize that, like, we wouldn't be here without her, and so many other players like her. And so, yeah, and I think that's also kind of an attitude that we have as a team, or not as our team, just kind of women's soccer in general, is that the attitude of you want to improve the league, the game for yourself, but also for the future. And I think having players like Michelle Akers around and back is another reminder of that.
And we'll wrap up with Peyton.
Well, as everyone saw, Alex Morgan announced her retirement. That tomorrow will be her last game as two of her teammates or former teammates. I was wondering if you guys have any commentary on, like, her legacy and what her career has meant to you both.
Alex Morgan, that's the word. I just feel like you can say, like, she's changed the game of soccer, but it's so much more than that. She's changed the world in such an amazing way, with how many people that she can touch, just investing in women, and just, like, the care in that. Like, it's not just we're investing to be good at soccer. It's like we're investing to be good people to then affect more people while playing a sport that we love, which I think is amazing. And yeah, she'll never get enough credit for all the things that she's changed in the sport and outside of the sport. And again, for me, it's like I just looked up to her, and me and Soph were just talking about it after the game of, like, it's like she's our mom, and we're like, bye. The training wheels are coming off, and it's like passing the torch again. But it's just, in my head, it's like Alex Morgan's never gonna retire, but now that it's real, it's honestly wild. And yeah, her last game is going to be crazy for sure. But again, so grateful, and she's insane and so amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible how she can have an effect on, like Trinity said, the world. And then also you take like personal lessons from being able to see her up close and how she interacts, because her confidence in herself is next level, and her unwavering fight for what's like right is the way that she stands up for herself and for her teammates and for her peers, and just fights to make things better in the world is just so incredible. So it's been an honor to like be around her and be influenced by her and take the lessons that we've learned from her and carry them on.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andy and Trin. We will see you all back here next weekend.
A lot better than me. No.